Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Hello everybody. Today in this video I'm going to talk about absurdity. Before I define the absurdity and explain the characteristics of it and give you an example about it, it's important to know that absurdity, this new philosophy, belongs to the period of time that called modernism. So, what is modernism? Modernism, it is a new movements in art and philosophy that started at the end of 19th century until the 1960s. Many things happened in that period. In fact, in that period, we could say that it had a negative side and positive side. So concerning the positive side, it was the period of development. Rapid change happened in that period. New scientific, theories originated in that period. In the period of modernism and the period before the modernism, which is the Victorian age. As we know that those two periods, are sequentially happen. At the end, the period that comes after the end of the Victorian age was modernism. So modernism, as I've just said, it has those two sides. In fact, it was a new reaction against everything which is old-fashioned. Against religion, against the ancient, beliefs or ideas. Now let's come to the negative side. Concerning the negative side, modernism characterized by insecurity of the double world wars. The First World War that happened started from the 1945 until 1919, and the Second World War from the 1939 until 1945, and the consequences of those double wars, which were terrible. People were dying everywhere. So many people started to call themselves as a lost generations because they think that they lost everything by the wars. And in fact, so such factors or these events, the innovations, the new scientific theories, the world wars, double world wars, have their influence on the on people. In fact, so new philosophies, started to appear. And one of these new philosophies that happened as a result of such events, it was absurdity. So absurdity is the view of existentialist philosophers that the human existence is ambiguous and and guiding. So in literal meaning, in literal sense, absurdity is meaninglessness or nothingness. People start to think that life is absurd. Life has no purpose, is purposeless. Okay, so and we in this side we found that the French Algerian Albert Camus, for this problem, he suggested three possible solutions. Okay. Physical suicide, philosophical suicide, and acceptance. Since people think that life it has no meaning, it is meaningless. So Albert Camus suggested those three possible choices or solution for it. In fact, he excluded the first two ones, and finally, he chooses the final one, which is to accept life as it is, though it is absurd, but we accept it. Okay. So. In fact, now the second thing that we need to know that the human there is no meaning exists for the one's life, for the man's life, but it is the man who has to search for the meaning of life. Okay. Now the second thing that we need to know, which is the absurd theater. Okay. As we know, such events or these new philosophies, writers or playwriters, poets, they talk about in their literature, or in their literature in general, in their writings, they start to talk about. And we found that some of the writers, and the clear example about absurdity, we have Waiting for Godot for the Irish writer Albert Samuel Beckett, as well as other writers wrote about the absurd theater, right? For example, Albert Camus in his novel Outsider. So now let's talk about the absurdity in the play of Albert Camus. Beckett, Samuel Beckett, which is Waiting for Godot. There is something important. One of the important characteristics of the absurd theater is death, which is considered as the most awaited thing. Okay, and in fact, it is the most important moment in one's life. Now the question arises, why death is too welcomed, besides the fact that it is the most harshest moment in one's life? And the answer for this question could be simple. So the answer is escapism. So people start to think about death, okay, just to escape the absurd of life, okay, as we've just said that such a philosophy or approach sees life as as absurd, as a meaningless. So to escape this this meaninglessness, people commit suicide. Okay, that is why death considered here as a most awaited thing, or the most important thing in absurd theater. Now let's come to the to play of Samuel Pocket Waiting for Godot, and explain how is it absurd. In fact, it is absurd in its title, because it belongs to the theater of absurd, so it is absurd in its title, and the characters, and the actions, and in the setting. So first, it is absurd in the title. The title of it, which is Waiting for Godot, okay, it is it is full of problems and dilemmas, like the existence of human beings, okay. And concerning the absurdity in the setting, we notice that the setting of this play Waiting for Godot is odd and island, okay. Two men, Estragon and Vladimir, are waiting in the roadside under a barren tree, right? For someone, in fact, who they don't know. Okay, so the place of Waiting for Godot is full of disparity. It is despair, right? So in such side, we could say that the setting is absurd. And also the absurdity in characters. Also, we notice those two men, Strogin and Vladimir, they are waiting for someone, and in fact they don't know him, right? So that's why, and also they don't know why are they waiting for, okay. That's why they think about suicide, about killing themselves. Also, we so finally, thank you for watching, and see you in the next video. Bye bye.